I would now like to introduce you to Colleen Brierly. I hope I'm saying that right, Colleen. She is a resident of Norwood, Massachusetts, and we sincerely welcome you to Quincy this evening via Zoom, and you have the floor. Thank you.
Oh, I think she muted
Hello.
her. Okay, there.
No, I'm sorry. It said the host wouldn't let me unmute, but I apologize. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Colleen Brierly, and I'm running for Registrar of Probate and Family Court. I am the only candidate in this race who has spent her entire professional career working in the probate and family court system. I have been a mental health worker. I worked at Taunton State Hospital. I've been a DSS social worker in Lynn, Mass. And I have been a family law, specializing in family law since 1996 as an attorney. I operate a private practice here in Norwood. For my managerial experience, I have I'm the co-founder and manager of a nonprofit called Journey to Parenthood. Under my direction, Journey to Parenthood has helped families all across the United States. And since 2014, with our team, we have raised close to $250,000 through Journey to Parenthood. I've also operated my own law practice and did operate a family daycare business while I went to law school during the evenings. I am the candidate that knows how the probate court works. I am certified by the Children and Family Law Division of the Committee for Public Counsel Services. I have represented numerous indigent clients in both the juvenile courts and the probate court. I'm a member of the Norfolk County Bar Association and the Children and Family Law Bar. I am a GAL and a court investigator in child abuse cases. And I am the candidate that knows why people are coming to that court. I know the wide array of emotions and problems, and I know the law that's behind those emotions. And I know the cases, and I know what needs to be filed in the probate court. As I travel around our county, Norfolk County, as an attorney who represents many children who are in foster care, I see a lot of communities who lack resources. And then just 15 minutes away, there are communities that have many, many resources. Every person in our county deserves access to justice, access to legal assistance from the court, regardless of their income, their race, their citizenship, or their national origin. That's why my #1 priority will be working to provide legal assistance and aid to every person that approaches that court for help. I will make our current Lawyer of the Day program the envy of Massachusetts. And we will do this by accessing attorney resources, IOLTA fees, attorney fees, and access funds. And also, I have a large network in the bar of children and family law attorneys who are eager to help out with Lawyer of the Day. My name is Colleen Brierly, and I would ask for your vote for Registrar of Probate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Colleen. At this time, I'd like to open it up to questions from our committee members.
Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we have the first one, so please be sure to raise your hand. But we have the first one from Danielle Kemp. So if you have a question, either raise your hand in the participants box or or put a question in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to go find Danielle in here. Okay.
Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. Most people here know me. I'm a disability advocate on the South Shore. And I was just wondering, you said you wanted to make the court accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a pain to get to, and you have to get there for everything, even including emotion. What would you do if elected to help make it easier for people with disabilities that are going through the court?
So where the court is located in the Shawmut Industrial Park is not an easy place for people to get to. I mean, once you're there, there's ample parking. And when you enter the building, you know, it's access to the building is on the first floor. You go through the metal detectors, and the clerk's office is actually on the first floor. There are elevators there. So once you're there, the building seems to be accessible for people, you know, in wheelchairs or with disabilities in that regard. However, getting to that courthouse has been a long-standing program. It's so much so that it's actually on the court's website that they describe on there that, you know, taking the train to University Ave is I believe it's a mile plus walk to the court. So what I have done is actually gotten in my car, I did this months ago before COVID, drove around the industrial park and wrote down all the names of the private and the Salvation Armies there, as well, businesses and the corporations there who also must share that problem. So what I would like to do is have a partnership with them to get a shuttle that would run from the train to the court and have, you know, during the morning session of the court, in many cases start at 2 p.m. So then we would do it again at 2 p.m. One of the other things that is really needed at that court is some food trucks or somebody to open a business over there, because once you're there without a car, there's really no place to grab lunch or a coffee. So those are some of the ideas, just the logistics of that courthouse. Do you have other questions as to that? Thank you. Hello?
Yes, sorry, she remuted herself so that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She did have a further question about deaf access. So that's ASL, so American Sign Language interpreters, or live captioning services.
Okay. Is there a question in regard to that?
Is that that's also an aspect of accessibility that is missing?
So these rights for individuals fall under the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I have not worked with the sight-impaired client. However, I work with many clients who are hearing impaired and working with the Commission on the Deaf. But as an attorney, I know that there's the Indigent Court Cost Act, and there are, through your attorney, access to, and the court is required under law to provide those services to people. So again, this has to do with education, my background in knowing that those things are available for people. And when somebody comes in, to know that, you know, they can either bring their own if they have means for that, but also under the law, under the Americans with Disabilities Act and under the indigent court costs that we have here in Massachusetts, that translators and help can be accessed for that. Hello? Yeah.
Yes, so we're at 6:45, so I'm going to hand that back to Alicia. Alicia, you need to unmute yourself.
Forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot I had muted myself. Actually, where we had a few minutes delay and then my introduction as to what the Registrar Probate does, she still has approximately 7 minutes left. These are 15-minute segments for each candidate. So if anyone has any further questions to ask Colleen, we'd be happy to take them. So everybody has a clear understanding of what this position is, huh? And you have no further questions.
Oh, we have one from Colin McMahon. Give him one moment.
Hi, Colleen. My question is, do you have any plans for those who need the service who may not be able to speak English or who don't speak English as a first language? Like, will lawyers or services be provided for them?
Absolutely. So again, the court under our Mass General laws are required to provide interpreters in a court case. I work with many people. I work a lot in the Brockton Juvenile Court, the Brockton Probate Court, in Bristol County, Norfolk County, and the court in a case is required to provide an interpreter in that case. So it's up to the attorney to request that, or the client. Again, through the Indigent Court Cost Act, you can request an interpreter to work with an attorney. This is for people without means, indigent people who qualify, to work with that lawyer on that case step by step. In a court, interpreters need to be certified a high level of certification. So it's not just a friend coming into the court. It has to be somebody who understands the case, a general idea of the law that's happening in there in the courtroom. So these things are available, but people don't know this. And so these are things I know through my experience as being a litigator and a child and family advocate. When you come into the court, it's my plan and to have processes and procedures printed in several languages as the need requires. This is absolutely needs to happen, no exception. Thank you.
All right, we have another question from Hannah Cohen.
Sorry, unmuting myself. So I know that you spoke to some of the issues around physical access to getting to the court. Are there other programs that you would like to implement in terms of educating people about how to best use services at the court that you think are not currently available or are underutilized?
Yes, absolutely. So right now, one that comes to my mind first is with our opioid crisis. Right now, and I represent a lot of people who have grandchildren or a niece or a nephew who the parent is struggling with the opioid crisis. So in my work, I know that there's agencies that are available for people, but the public may not be aware of that. So for one, it's grandparents raising grandchildren. And that is a group that needs to be better connected to the court. It's a group that offers support to grandparents who have to go into the probate court to take guardianship of a family member when DCF is looming or circling that family to pull the kids out of the home. And so that is, those types of liaisons with groups that already exist will not be costly for the probate court, and it's just a matter of connecting people with what is already available there. Right now, there's a pilot program that's been launched, and this is awesome. I love this. It's with a nonprofit agency that provides guardianships for adults who have become incapacitated for whatever reason, and they don't have a family member who's able to step in and assume that very important role in their life. So this is a nonprofit that is now working with the probate court to provide guardians for adult incapacitated people. So
Thank you.
there's also, One Can Help is another program that's already in existence that helps kids who are in foster care and helps kids who are in serious custody cases with their when their parents are in serious custody cases, or kids in foster care who have basic needs for Chromebooks or anything like that, internet, things of that nature. One Can Help is a nonprofit agency that helps with that, that I am fully aware of and have worked with. Thank you.
All right. Are there any further questions? Because Colleen, you have about 2.21 minutes left on your 15. If there are no further questions, if you'd like to give your closing remarks, we'd love to hear from you.
Sure. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Hello. Oh, hello. Hi, my name is Colleen Brierly, and I would respectfully ask for your vote in the September primary for Registrar Probate and Family Court. I live in Norwood, Mass. with my husband, Bob, and together we have 5 children. I have been a foster mother, and I am the adoptive mother of 3 awesome 12-year-olds right now through DCF after having been a foster mom. During the pandemic, I have continued to represent clients and children in both the juvenile and probate courts. There are silver linings that we have discovered during the pandemic, and that many cases can be effectively managed virtually. And I have been an ongoing part of this in the probate and family court. I've represented many clients during the pandemic, clients who have relapsed or are having trouble visiting their kids either through a divorce or in a DCF situation. And I have maintained my caseload and continue to work with with children and families, kids who are in foster care. Our e-filing system, pandemic, has been greatly expanded. During the pandemic, attorneys were allowed to email each other with pleadings, and that's been very helpful. We've again learned that confidential files can be shared through something called FamilyNet with DCF, and that should be expanded to the probate court. Now more than ever, we need a registrar of probate who knows how the probate courts work, and that candidate is me. I have over 35 years, an entire career that I've been working toward this position. At this time, we don't need someone who has never worked in the court or someone who is a politician who's run for office after office. We don't need somebody who's a fresh face to the family and probate court, or this to be the pinnacle of their political career. I am the candidate who knows how the courts work. I know what brings people to the court. I know the services that are there. It's my goal to greatly expand the Lawyer of the Day program. Nothing is going to slow a courthouse down more than a person who comes to the court, approaches the court, and has no idea what they need to file, where to go, and the emotions and the cases that you mentioned in the opening are very real. I would ask for your vote, and please vote for the candidate with experience in the probate and family court. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Perfect, Colleen. We really, really appreciate you attending tonight. We have up to 22 participants, and we really appreciate all of you being here. And before I go a step further in tonight's event, I want to remind all of us that it is the 100th anniversary of the woman's right to vote. And we should be celebrating that as well. So thank you to all our women suffragettes, and don't forget to vote. So thank you so much, Colleen.
Thank you so much
this evening.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Same to you. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.